Pura vida, everybody! To San Jose and stayed in Santa Ana. Santa Ana is a lovely neighbourhood in the outskirts of San Jose, and we stayed in an Aranjuez loft. It's beautiful with pool and very close to Santa Ana. One of the first things we did was to go and have a look at the refuge. We had a lovely gallo pinto. Gallo pinto is the typical Costa Rican breakfast. And then we had a look around the animal refuge where they rescue all the animals that they have, including the sloths. That was an amazing view to have a look, to see the sloth in action. Very difficult. Normally they only move when they're hungry, and look how cute that is. We saw other animals that have been rescued in the refuge, including the crocodile and the monkeys. And it was a very, very nice morning before we headed out to La Paz waterfalls.
Tenemos 5 en exhibición, 3 hembras y 2 machos.
So we drove to La Paz Waterfalls Park, which took about an hour and 40 minutes from Santa Ana, where we were staying. The drive was very, very scenic as you go past Poas volcano, and you drove into La Montaña Azul, which means the Blue Mountain. The area is really quite wet, so be ready to take some waterproof jackets. You pay about $40 to go in, and you go through some trails, and you see some beautiful animals and 3 main waterfalls. We really love the massive butterflies and the playful hummingbirds. When you go through the waterfalls, you go up and down quite a lot, and you will get quite wet. And the path can be quite slippery. You just take your time. Once you finish the trail, there is the bus that takes you back to reception. One of the things I really enjoyed was a Costa Rican typical house where we were offered agua dulce, which is like a tea, and some cheesecake. And then we walked to reception. The Christmas decoration gave it a really nice feeling to it. It was really special, to spend Christmas, in Costa Rica, really. San Jose is often missed by tourists, but it does have its charm, so I do recommend you go and have a look around. We went for breakfast and had some arepas in an area where they have this fair. They call it a Feria Verde, which is like the green market with ecological products, green products. And we then, after having listened to music, having a look around at the little stands, having a pipa, which is the coconut type drink, we headed out into what people call Chepetao, which is to refer to San Jose downtown. We discovered the colonial past includes some interesting buildings, such as the Edificio Jimenez, which is has an interesting architecture, and has been compared to that of Antonio Gaudí in Barcelona. And also the Metallic House was amazing. It's a historical building from the 19th century inspired by the Eiffel Tower, one of the eldest education institutions of the country. Got to the National Centre, walked around the bustling streets, and the statue of La Chola is supposed to give you some good luck if you touch the boobs. We discovered also the Spanish Park, and then we had, of course, some drink of guanábana, which is one of the typical fruits of Costa Rica, and also fresa con leche, which is the strawberry with milk. And we went around the markets, which has some really interesting things around, and it was really quite nice day spent around San Jose. In the evening, we walked to the centre of Santa Ana. It was a little bit tricky to find the pavements, where to walk, because everybody seems to drive. But when we got there, it was really nice. Everything again was decorated for Christmas, but on top of that, we experienced La Mascarada, which is a dance, a typical dance that typical of Costa Rica, with giants and big heads, gigantes y cabezudos, which is also typical in Spain, dancing to music, and it was quite very entertaining. So we stayed there till the evening, had some dinner. There are quite a few restaurants, and then obviously looked quite pretty when it was dark, because it was all illuminated, you know, for Christmas. Then we went on a road trip to South Pacific, stopped for more gallo pinto, typical breakfast, before seeing the crocodiles at the Tarcoles River, which is known to have been infested with many crocodiles. The bridge was high enough to be safe. Then we stopped at our first Costa Rican beach called Via Sands, where we had a swim and some apretados, which is some kind of popsicles, and you will be able to see even a mobile, spa by the side. After this beach, then we went to the Manuel Natural Park in Quepos. Playa Linda was the next stop before reaching our lovely hotel in Ubita village, located in the Whale Tail National Park. The hotel did have some impressive outdoor area that really made up for the very quite basic rooms, but there were many locals there, which was quite nice to celebrate Christmas. Christmas Day was the best. It was all about swimming in the waterfalls and on the beaches. We went for breakfast al fresco, and the first stop was La Poza Azul, which means the blue cascade, and we stayed there for quite a lot swimming, and then after that we went to La Playa Hermosa. It was interesting to drive through the little villages on the way to our next stop at La Playa Hermosa, and you can see the typical houses, with all the lovely lush trees and nature. And wow, Playa Hermosa, which means in Spanish beautiful beach, was just massive. Long beach, which didn't look very crowded at all. So, and there was some surfers, and then after that we moved to Cascada El Pavón with some natural slides. As you can see, it was quite a lot of fun. The water was a little bit cold, very nice place, to spend a couple of hours, and just observed lots of animals, heard them. I couldn't really capture everything on the way there. Some challenging roads. I think you're driving probably 4x4. You will come across these kind of roads, and if you want to get to some of these places. And we went to see the sunset at Playa Las Ventanas, which means the windows beach, and again it was a beautiful end to the day. After spending a little bit of time here and seeing the sunset, we went to have some dinner. I absolutely love fish, and I had ceviche. Our next day we had a surf day. Before the surf day, we had a look around Dominical. This is the place where the surf school was, not far from Ubita, and it was really great. A market just by the side of the beach. It had all sorts of very interesting items. And what I liked the most was the Boruca masks, which will be coming up in a minute. I did buy one and took it to the UK. Which are typical Costa Rican masks made of wood and traditionally decorated. There were some massive ones. I managed to get a smaller one that I could put on the plane. And here I am, ready for some surfing. It looks easier than what it is. I did struggle a little bit getting on the on the surfboard. I did sort of managed it, but it was tricky. And then we went back to La Poza del Babon, but it was quite heavy rain, so we had to leave because the current was quite strong. And yeah, we had a massive thunderstorm, warm but massive. Today is ziplining day after a breakfast without gallo pinto in a different cafe, and we did see lots of iguanas everywhere. So we made our way to Osa Canopy, and we were transported from the office with a pickup truck, which was very interesting. We had lots of fun. It was an amazing views and lots of different stages to it. There were lots of mosses though, lots of big ants, so make sure you have insect repellent. And then you get given at the end some fruit, which was quite nice. After the ziplining, we then headed out to a new beach, and as you will see next, it was a little bit different. It was called Tortuga Beach, which is really like a beach taken out of Jurassic Park, where you don't really want to swim, as there are quite a few crocodiles. We also went to the tortoise conservation place, where the eggs are protected as the ticos, as we know the Costa Rican people are called, eat them because they think they are aphrodisiac. It was interesting to hear how they keep the eggs protected. As you can see, you saw on the mesh, and we were hoping to see them cracking the eggs and coming out, but we didn't see. And then enjoyed a maracuya beer at the end of the day and a little bit of a relaxing time. And today is rafting day. Rafting in the Savegre, one of the cleanest rivers in South America. It was quite a long way to get there. There were few dirt tracks, so it was difficult for the bus to go up with the boat. We were entertained by the staff. We stopped to get some henna and other fruits. The rapids were 2 and 3. We got stuck a couple of times, but we didn't capsize, which was a bonus. Unfortunately, I didn't have my GoPro, so I didn't have any videos to capture the exciting rafting on the way down to Savegre. We did stop for some waterfall, where we had some lunch prepared by the staff, but I did take some pictures and videos at the end. And that's the other thing I could do to capture the moment, but definitely worth doing the rafting just for the views and the excitement. And then we on the way back, we also had some lovely views, of the scenery with the palm trees, really exciting. And I decided to go for a walk to see the sunset in the Bahia National Park, which is the park that looks a little bit like a whale tail. The next day we started off with the Badu Trail, just to see animals in the habitat. You have to really wear closed shoes, otherwise the ants will bite. We did see quite a few animals, but I think the most exciting for me was seeing the white-faced monkeys. They were really quite naughty, and they were very playful. You could just see them everywhere. They were very, very cute. Then after the trail, we drove to the Dota region, which is in the mountain, and we had a stop at a very quirky restaurant where we had some sitting points with views to look at the birds. I absolutely love my Aztec soup. And when we got to the lodge in the mountain, we absolutely loved it. It was such an amazing spot. It was very, there were like cabins, wooden cabins, we had all the facilities you may have, and amazing views to the mountains. Yeah, we explored a little bit the area. I think it was just entertaining to look around the hotel, which was made up of all these different cabins. And then we headed up a little bit to the hill to get some views. It was a little bit cloudy, but still looked beautiful. You did need a little bit of a jumper. We felt colder than it had been, where we were in by the coast side. But yeah, it's had a little bit of a trek, build a bit of an appetite, and yeah, it felt very nice. Then we decided to go to the reception area where they have the restaurant and also a sitting area and a balcony to the overlooking the woods. And we sat in front of the fire. It wasn't really that cold, but it was cozy. We played some games, having some drinks, and relaxed a little bit with all the Christmas decoration, giving it a little bit of a nice touch, to our holiday. But yeah, it was definitely, I loved this hotel. It was really beautiful. Had a very early start, 5:30, to see the quetzal. Here it is. It's not very clear, but it's one of the most beautiful birds in the world and only found in Costa Rica. We also saw coyote, and you could hear the quetzal very clearly. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to capture some of the animals like the coyote. And you can see on the way there, the drive was interesting as well with the cows, taking the road. And then we left the hotel and we moved to the north again, to the north of Costa Rica, to La Fortuna, and near the Arenal active volcano. There are 7 active volcanoes in Costa Rica. You can clearly see it here on our way there. And when we got to the hotel, we discovered it was a lovely lodge, again with wooden little houses with amazing views. It looked very private. We were actually just literally 30-second walk to the restaurant and the bar area, and inside you could have a double and a single. It was definitely a very comfortable stay and a very nice and different way, to enjoy the wildlife, really. And this is the little walk that we took. It's just really at the doorstep of our cabin. The hummingbirds were just very playful, coming right at you. And then, we saw the little birds, the ponds. Definitely a nice place to be at. But as you know, in Costa Rica, it gets dark about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you're not really supposed to be out at that time without a guide, because I think that's when animals like snakes come out, and you don't want to be encounter snakes. And yeah, we sat at the bar area at night time. And this is the last day of the year, and we had a fantastic day. First we went to Bogarin's trail to do some animal watching. As you can see, we had we saw quite a few animals, like the toucans and the sloths. We saw baby sloths as well, and we were guided by the owner himself, Bogarin, who created this place. It was actually beforehand farmland, but they stopped doing anything with it, and then they've got all these beautiful species in there, and even poisonous frogs we managed to see. I didn't want to really mess around in the woods. And then in the evening we went to the Baldi hot springs. It's a hotel, but we just used it for we went for a few hours to use the 25 thermal pools. And yeah, we just, you can spend there all day. We went for quite a few hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, and we paid £37 each. I think around £35-40, depends, whether you go with children or not. And it's just, you can spend there all day. You can have drinks, and as you can see, there's lots of different little bars, and it looks very pretty when it comes to night time. It's really nicely illuminated, and all I would say, just make sure that you keep on drinking water, because you do get dehydrated. And these are some of the natural saunas that were in there. But it was definitely a lovely end to the year, and after that we headed out to La Fortuna. La Fortuna is one of the little main towns near the volcano, where we had a nice dinner in a restaurant. I had, of course, ceviche, with the prawns. And the first day of the year was spent in hanging bridges, and there was quite a few hanging bridges and a few trails. So we walked around, possibly, I think it took us about 2 or 3 hours, a little bit wet because of the rainforest, so you need a jacket again, but it was definitely worth, all the lovely views. And then when we came out, and we saw these white nose coati just by the side of the road. We just stopped and took a few videos, and they were just feeding. They were just very cute. And then we went to La Fortuna, which is the nearest town to our lodge. We had a look around. We could see the church there. There's a fountain and a square, some beautiful gardens, and again it was all decorated for Christmas. And we had some dinner because there's quite a few restaurants. And then we just went back to the hotel to chill out. And today we left our lodge, and watch out what we saw, a baby snake on a tree right in front of our lodge. Anyway, we drove to San Ramon. Everything was decorated for Christmas again. We stopped for some lunch. I had a lovely dish called tamal, which is an indigenous delicacy. It was very interesting to eat. It was filled with rice and meat. And then we went to the museum, where it was quite interesting to see a little bit of the history of Costa Rica, as well as some interesting animals there, like the armadillo, and some massive sloths. And yeah, we drove to Atenas, which is supposed to be have the best climate in the world, and it's the Athens in Costa Rica. And lovely church there. Had a look around, had an ice cream, and then after that that was it. The following day we went back home. What a shame.